Hello everybody. Today I'm going to start core Java. First, I'm going to discuss about the introduction. This is the index in core Java. I'll deal with the introduction, OOPS concepts, strings, arrays, packages, exceptions, IO streams, multi-threading, wrapper classes, inner classes, collections, AWT, and swings. So first we'll deal with the introduction. Java is a high-level, object-oriented, platform-independent programming language which is suitable for distributed applications. Now, what do you mean by platform-independent? Platform-independent means a language which can execute or which can execute in any operating system irrespective of its development is known as platform-independent. And what do you mean by object-oriented? Object-oriented means everything in Java is an object. And Java was developed by Sun Microsystems in the year 1995. James Gosling is known as father of the Java. Now we'll see some applications of Java. Java is useful in desktop applications such as Acrobat Reader, antivirus, media player, etc. It is used in web applications such as irctc.co.in, etc. and enterprise applications such as banking applications. Fourth, the mobile applications. Fifth, the embedded systems. Sixth, smart card. Seventh, robotics. And eighth, the games, etc. Now we'll see what are the types of Java applications. Standalone applications. First one is the standalone applications. Standalone applications are also known as desktop applications or Windows-based applications. For example, if you consider a one-tier application where a user and the system is present. The user gives input to the system performs some operations with the data, and the system it gives back the output to the user. This is an example of standalone or desktop application. Examples of standalone applications are media player, antivirus, etc. And what are the technologies used for standalone applications? AWT and Swing are used in Java for creating standalone applications. Second one is the web application. For example, if you consider a two-tier application where a user, system, and server is also present. First, the user gives the input data to the system. The system gives the data to the server, and the server performs some operations and gives the data back to the system. And the system in turn gives the data output to the user. So, an application that runs on the server side and creates a dynamic page is called a web application. And what are the technologies used for web applications? Currently, the servlets, JSP, struts, Spring, Hibernate, JSF, etc. are the technologies which are used for web applications. Now, third one is the enterprise application. An application that is distributed in nature such as banking applications are called as enterprise applications, and it has the advantages of high level security, that is they give security for the applications. Next, in Java, the technology which is used for creating enterprise applications is EJB. And the fourth and the last one is the mobile application. An application which is created for mobile devices is called a mobile application, and currently Android is a technology which is used for creating mobile applications. Next one is the Java platforms. We have three types of Java platforms. The first one is the Java SE or the Java Standard Edition. It includes Java programming APIs like java.lang, java.io, java.net, java.util, java.sql, java.math, etc. It includes the technologies like OOPS, string, regular expression, exception, inner classes, multi-threading, IO stream, networking, AWT, swing, reflection, collections, etc. And the second platform is Java EE or Java Enterprise Edition. It is an enterprise edition, which is mainly, this enterprise edition is mainly used to develop web and enterprise applications. And the technologies which are used for this enterprise edition are the servlets, GSP, web services, EJB, JPA, etc. And the third and the last one is the Java ME or Java Micro Edition. It is mainly used to develop the mobile applications. Next, we'll see the features of Java. What is the first feature? The first feature of Java is simple. Java is simple. That is, every Java program can be written using simple English language, and these programs can be easily understandable by the each and every developer very easily. And it is also easy to develop. And Java is free from pointers. So this is the reason why, what is the disadvantage of pointers? If we use pointers, there is no security for the data, and the burden on the developer is more, and it is very difficult to handle. So for these reasons, Java is said to be simple. Next is object-oriented. Now, what do you mean by object-oriented? Object-oriented means everything in Java is an object. And what are the OOPS features we are having? Class, object, encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction, and inheritance. What is the difference between class and an object? If you consider a construction of a building, before constructing a building, you need a blueprint or an architecture of a building. So this blueprint or an architecture is an example for a class, whereas the building which is constructed is an example for an object. That is, object is a real world entity which can be seen, whereas this class is a virtual entity which cannot be seen. This is the difference between object and the class. And next is encapsulation. What do you mean by encapsulation? The the combination of data and the methods into a single unit, that is holding the data and methods into a single unit like class is known as encapsulation, and class is the best example for encapsulation. And the next one is polymorphism. What is polymorphism? The ability of an object to exist in multiple forms is known as polymorphism. That is, for example, there are different ways to communicate in this real world. Example, humans communicate by talking to each other, as well as animals can also communicate in their own way. So, this is an example for polymorphism, that is the ability of an object to exist in multiple forms is polymorphism. And next is inheritance. What is inheritance? Um, the one class acquiring the properties and methods into another class is known as inheritance. That is, if you consider a parent class and a child class, the child class can acquire all the properties and methods of its parent class. And next one is the abstraction. Abstraction is nothing but hiding unnecessary details from the user is known as abstraction. And abstraction can be well defined using the access specifiers like private, protected, public, and default. And inheritance can be achieved using abstraction. And the next feature is portable. Java is a portable language. A language is said to be a portable whenever those programs are executed in any operating system and in any processor irrespective of its development. That is, when Java is said to be portable, Java is said to be portable when it is platform independent as well as architecture neutral. And the next feature is secure. Why Java is secure? Java is secure because it is free from pointers. Uh, why? Because pointers is a burden on the programmer. So as Java is free from pointers, it can be said as a secure language. And every developer should write another program or algorithm to provide security for the data. So whenever number of programs are increasing, then the security programs or algorithms are also increasing. This leads to burden on the developer. So to overcome this problem, Sun Microsystem was developed predefined security programs at the time of designing of Java, so that the developer can use these programs to provide security while writing the programs. That is, Java supports encryption and decryption techniques at a very high level, and these encryption and decryption techniques are mainly used to overcome the problem of hacking. Next one is robust. Why robust means strong? Why Java is robust? In general, for every programming language, errors are generated in two levels. First one is the compile time errors. Compile time errors are the errors generated at compile time, and these errors can be handled by any language very easily. The second one is the runtime errors, and these are the errors generated during the execution time of the program. Runtime errors are also known as logical errors or exceptions. So using structured oriented programming languages like C, it is very difficult to handle these runtime errors. So runtime errors can be handled using a special concept called exception handling. And this exception handling is supported by Java. That means Java language is very efficient to handle the runtime errors. Because of this reason, Java can be called as very strong or robust. Next is architecture neutral. By Java, now what do you mean by architecture neutral? Actually, architecture neutral means that is Java is architecture neutral language. That means it is processor independent irrespective of its development. And a language is said to be architecture neutral whenever those programs are executed by any processor irrespective of its development. And the next feature is interpreter. Now, what do you mean by interpreter? Okay, like interpreter means in the earlier versions of Java, the compilation process is very fast and interpretation process was little bit slow. So to overcome this problem, a special interpreter is used called as JIT. That is just-in-time compiler. JIT compiler will speed up the execution process of the Java. So because of this reason, Java can be called as interpreter. Now high performance. Why Java is of high performance? Because Java is having an inbuilt garbage collector for efficient memory management. And second reason is Java is free from pointers. That is, Java does not support the explicit pointers, so that handling of programs are very easy and burden on the developer becomes less. And Java is a multi-threaded programming language. Because of executing multiple programs simultaneously, the time taken process can be reduced. And there is also a magic of bytecode which is used to increase the execution speed. Next is the multi-threaded. Now, multi-threaded means, what do you mean by the flow of controls is known as threads. That is, whenever any language supports multiple flow of controls, then it is known as multi-threaded programming language. Now, the advantages of multi-threaded programming language are the time taken process is less, performance and efficiency will be more, and the problem occurred at one location is not reflected at the other area of the program. Whereas for a single threaded programming language, the time taken process will be more, the performance and efficiency will be less, and problem occurred at one location will be reflected at other area of the Java program. This is the advantage of multi-threaded programming language. And next is distributed. what is distributed? In general, network-based applications are classified into centralized applications, client-server architecture-based applications, and third is the distributed applications. Now, what do you mean by centralized application? Centralized application means multiple clients can be able to communicate with a single server. And in this scenario, only the server system is having the components like hard disk, operating system, and RAM, processor, etc. But the client system is not having these individual components. And because of this reason, every request of client will be executed in only the server system, so that burden on the server will be increased. So to overcome this disadvantage, the client server architecture based applications are introduced. Now, what are these client server architecture based applications? Here, multiple clients can be able to communicate with single server. But in this scenario, not only server system is having the components like hard disk, RAM, processor, and operating system, but also the client system is also having these components, so that the burden on the server can be reduced while processing the request. So the main disadvantage in client-server architecture-based systems is the multiple clients depends on the single server system. So whenever a problem arises in the server system, it will be reflected on the each and every client system. So to overcome the above disadvantage, distributed applications are introduced. Now, in the case of distributed applications, the multiple clients can be able to communicate with multiple servers. But some application is distributed, same application is distributed in multiple servers, and all the servers are interconnected with a special network called internet. So what happens here, even one server is having some problem, the client request will go to another server. That means problem in one server is not reflected on the client systems. So that is why Java is said to be distributed, dynamic. Now, what do you mean by dynamic? In general, for any programming language, the memory is allocated in two different ways. One is the static memory or compile time memory, and second one is the dynamic memory or runtime memory. So what is static memory? Whenever a memory is allocated at the time of compilation time, it is known as static memory or compile time memory. The major disadvantage in static memory is wastage of memory space. And, this problem can be overcome using dynamic memory. And whenever memory is allocated for the data during runtime or execution time, then it is known as dynamic memory or runtime memory. And the major advantage with dynamic memory is no wastage. There is no wastage of memory space. So Java supports only dynamic memory allocations. That means there is no chance of wastage of memory space in Java. Because of this reason, we can say that Java is dynamic. So these are the features of Java. Thank you everybody, and I'll continue in the next video. Thank you.